Hey guys, welcome back to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today and hanging with me. And guys, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite lures to catch an easy limit of bass on in the springtime of the year. A lure that I have caught thousands and thousands of bass on this time of year, and my buddies as well. And we're going to be talking about the Zoom centipede, which I call the peed, or me and my buddies call it the peed. Guys, this is a deadly lure this time of year. I can't tell you how effective it is. You hear me talking a lot on the channel about I fish shaky head's my favorite bait this time of year, but I'd put the peed right there next to it. You can actually fish it on a shaky head too, but there's a bunch of different ways to rig this thing and to fish it as far as the water conditions. So we're going to go over that in today's episode here. And also, guys, I'll put my Zoom Centipede link in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to order a few peeds, a couple packages of them, using that link's a good way to support the channel. And also, guys, real quick reminder, the fishing is really good. I'm talking really good here in Missouri right now on the lakes that I do my lessons on, Table Rock and Stockton Lake. If you guys want to learn about, how to catch fish this time of year or technique you want to get good at, shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat, for details there. Okay, guys, the way that I found out about the peed is I had one of my best friends was fishing a tournament about 30 years ago down at Table Rock Lake. And he drew a person out there that just whacked him on the back, out of the back of the boat on the centipede. And he had never fished it before at all. And he told me about it. He started fishing it, started refining it, told me about it. I started fishing it. And guys, I have caught so many bass on this all over the country. I'm talking about, I have caught bass on the peed in the spring all over my part of the country. I've caught them in Lake Okeechobee. I did good in a tournament on it. I did good in a Bassmaster Top 150 at the Trent Neuse River in North Carolina on it. I have caught them everywhere when the conditions are going to be set up like I'm going to talk about. So I want to specifically talk about that in today's video. Okay, first of all, there's a lot of different ways to rig the peed. A lot of different ways. And I've got so many different ways I'm not even going to show you. I'm just going to talk about it. First of all, one of my favorite ways to fish the peed is on what I call the split shot rig. So you just want to put like a #1 hook in it, #1 straight shank hook, and then take a slip sinker and put it up about 18 inches above your line, like a 3/16 slip sinker, and then peg it. So it's called a split shot rig. It's like a little Carolina rig, and dragging that split shot rig is a really good way to catch them. I'll talk about the conditions here in a second, but the split shot rig is a good way to do it. The other way we fish it a lot is with a very, very light weight, like put Texas rig it with like a 1/16 of an ounce weight, just a tiny, tiny weight on it, or sometimes no weight at all, and maybe put like just a little bit of a lead nail in there, something like that, where you got a nice slow fall for it. But I've caught a lot of them flipping and pitching it. In fact, that tournament I did get at Okeechobee, I caught them flipping and pitching it with a 3/16 sinker on it. And then you can fish it on a shaky head. Works great on a shaky head, like a little 1/16 of an ounce shaky head. You can fish it wacky style, just like this, like a little wacky rig. It's really up to your imagination how you want to fish it, but there's something about the profile of this thing. I don't know what it is, the segmentation of it, it's just different than a plastic worm. It's like the old do nothing worm. They've been around for a long time, but they really, really like it, guys. This is however you want to fish it. I don't care if it's a shaky head, a Texas rig, a weight, no weight, split shot rig. It's gonna get you a lot of bites. The profile of the bait and everything's gonna get you a lot. Now, there's two different colors that I use primarily. That's gonna be the watermelon red here, and this is the watermelon candy. I like the watermelon candy or a green pumpkin. If your water visibility is sort of like, I don't know, probably, 2 to 3 foot of visibility, I'll use the watermelon candy or the green pumpkin. And if I have over 3 foot of visibility, I'm going to use the watermelon red. It's a little bit more translucent, but you can see one's a little darker than others. And then my favorite color for flipping and pitching is the June bug model. Just a dark June bug. This is the one that I did get at Okeechobee on. But those are really the only 3 colors I have. You can see my peed box here, how many of them I got. I just love this bait. Okay, so let's talk about, now that rig it as far as the equipment to throw it on and where you want to fish it at. Now, since the peed is a light bait, obviously you're fishing it on a spinning rod. If I'm fishing the peed with a very, very light weight, or like on a wacky rig setup like that, I'm going to be using 6-pound test, Seaguar VizX, straight fluorocarbon on my spinning rod, Megabass whip snake spinning rod. If I'm throwing the peed around a little heavier cover or on a split shot rig, or maybe with a little bit, just a tiny weight on it, I'm using an 8-pound test on the spinning rod. And if I'm pitching it and flipping it, you know, like with the 3/16 ounce sinker, I may go up to even 17 because I'm pitching it and flipping it just like a regular soft plastic bait. But let's talk about specifically the conditions where this peed's going to get you a ton of bites. This is a cleaner water technique that's going to work better in cleaner water. So I like to have visibility in my water over at least 3 foot. You know, you can catch them in a little bit more stained water. I'm not saying you can't, but for all practical purposes, the most success that I've had on it is water visibility over 3 foot in clarity, because it's a sight bait, it's very subtle, they can see it, and it just works better in cleaner water. The next thing with it is this bait works really good when the fish are right in around that spawn mode. I'm talking about like when the fish are coming up and they're starting to make their beds, or they're bedding, or they're done bedding, but they're still hanging around garden fry. But it works the best when water temperatures are about 60 to 70 degrees. That's the window. So you're talking about April and May being the best time to fish the peed, for sure. That's really critical with it. Now, the type of areas that I'm fishing the peed in are spawning type areas. That's the only place you really need to go to. When I'm fishing the peed, I go into the areas where I think the bass will spawn at. I may see them, I may not see them, but I'm talking about more protected coves, more protected bays, areas that aren't getting hit by a lot of wind, places, hard bottoms, those places where the fish like to spawn at. And depending upon how I'm fishing the peed, I'll fish it from the bank down maybe into 15 or 20 foot of water. Let's say, for example, if it's real clear, if water visibility is 5 or 6 foot clarity, I may take the peed on a shaky head rig or on the split shot rig and cast it out on the outside of the areas where the fish are bedding or on secondary points, and I'll fish it in 15 or 20 foot of water. If the fish are really shallow and I can see them spawning or I can see them cruising, then I'm throwing the peed like on a wacky rig or, a real light sinker just up to the bank, and I'm working it down in 2, 3, 4, 5 foot of water. But guys, it gets bites, man. I'm telling you, I've got buddies here that, fish in my part of the country. They live for what they call the peed season. That's their deal. It's like they can't wait for the peed season to get here because it's such a fun way to catch them. So we just wanted to clue you in on that if you haven't tried that before. Again, I'll put those peeds in the Cycle Warehouse link in the description, and hope it helps you guys catch some fish, and we'll talk later.